welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name is Rebecca. I am a registered nurse, certified personal trainer, and nutrition coach, and I create content all about travel and fitness while living full-time in an RV with my husband and very spoiled Boston Terrier. This week, I am back home for a little bit, which means I finally have a chance to sit down and film a few videos for you guys. And today's video is all about apps that I genuinely use every single week to help me stay on track with my fitness while I'm traveling. These are apps that I use whether I'm in an RV, an Airbnb, or a hotel, and they're the ones that I come back to week over week. Okay, first and foremost, note that I am an iPhone user, but also know that for your guys' viewing pleasure, I have broken this down into 3 different categories: running, nutrition, and lifestyle. Before we jump in, quick disclaimer, none of these apps are being sponsored in this video or are sponsoring me. These are simply the ones that I personally use and recommend because they honestly just make my life easier. One other thing to note is that the running apps I mentioned do have paid subscriptions, but everything that's in the nutrition and lifestyle sections can be used for free. So let's jump in. First category is running, and my tried and true app that I'm starting with today is Strava. This is the app I use to track pretty much all of my runs. I use it to build out routes whenever I'm somewhere new, which is so incredibly helpful when you travel as constantly as I do. It does cost right now $11.99 per month or $80 per year, but I will say huge bonus is there's a feature where you can actually search for popular running routes and hiking trails and bike routes nearby. So my husband Clint and I have actually found this really, really useful to find some hikes in the area that we probably wouldn't have found otherwise. And it'll tell you how difficult it will be so you can prepare for that. The second app is Runna. I have used Runna for almost a year now. I used it to train for my second half marathon that I ran in March. And honestly, it worked really well for me. It does cost about $10 a month and around $120 per year. One thing that I like is that it builds the training around whatever you're working towards. So that could be a 5K, 10K, half, or even a full marathon. Or honestly, if you're just maintaining your running at this point and not training for anything. Right now, I am doing their run to maintain plan. Now, I will be honest, this is an AI tool, which can be controversial. So there's definitely days where the pace they give me is ambitious, and I just have to listen to my body and what I know I'm capable of that day. But that's also part of why I like it. It does push me out of my comfort zone a little bit, and more often than not, I do kind of get surprised on what I'm actually capable of. The last app I have in this category is Somble. So Somble is where I actually spend a majority of my time for all of my strength workouts. This one is a little bit more niche to me, so I'm not going to give you guys any insider into the actual app itself because there's a pretty big paywall there. But this is where the trainer that I work with one-on-one uploads all of my workouts. She puts them in the app. All I have to do is open it, go to the gym, and work through everything. I love it because it's really straightforward, easy to use, and it keeps all of my programming organized in one place. Next category is nutrition. The first app that I use every single day is Chronometer. Currently, I'm tracking my macros. I have gone through a period in my life where I did not track, but I am right now, and this is my favorite tracking app. I especially like the fact that it tracks more than just protein, carbs, and fats. For example, I'm really working on increasing my fiber intake right now, and Chronometer makes that really easy to view. And honestly, if any of you are like me and you can sometimes get triggered with tracking, another feature that I really appreciate is if you'd rather not focus on calories, you can actually customize your dashboard to primarily look at macros instead. Also, pro tip for those busy ladies, it also has a barcode scanner. Lets you build your own meals and saves food that you've entered. So if you're somebody like me that tends to eat repetitiously sometimes, it's easy to track every day. Okay, this next app that I recommend is probably going to seem very boring, but it's the Apple Notes app. Like I said, I'm an iPhone user. If you're on an Android, I believe UpNote is pretty similar. But essentially, it's very simple. I use this before I put my grocery list together every week. I have a template in my notes app. I'll pop it up on the screen, and it literally has breakfast, lunches, And the days of the week with dinners, Clint and I sit down and decide what we're going to make for dinners. Then I map out my lunches and my breakfasts, and I put my grocery list together based off that. It's simple, it's free, and it's a system that works for both of us. You can thank my dad for this next one because he and my mom recommended it. But my next one is AnyList. I use this for groceries primarily because this is where I put my grocery list in there. However, it's nice because you can use it for other things. But what's cool is you can put your list in there. It will automatically categorize the aisle or the section in the grocery store that it recommends that you go to. And then you can just cross them off as you put them in your cart at the store. I also use AnyList for so many other things. We have RV packing lists, travel packing lists, camping checklist. Basically, if it's something that I don't want to forget how to do, it goes into AnyList. Another Bob Harper specialty, aka that's dad, is the app Paprika. This is actually a recipe app. So if you've ever really met me or watched my channel or content, you know I cook a lot. And Paprika is free, and it's where I save all of my recipes. One of the coolest features is that you can search recipes directly inside the app. So you can just go to the Browse tab, searches Google for you. If you find something, you download it, and it automatically puts it in an easy list view to where you can add that to your grocery list, as well as the actual recipe steps themselves. I really like it. It makes meal planning so much easier because I love having a library of go-tos that I can always just refer back to if I'm at a loss for what to make the following week. Last section is lifestyle. Everything in this section is also free to use. I will note that the first one, you have to have a Google account because it is Google Calendar. Yep, that's right. If it's not in my calendar, there's a pretty good chance I'm going to forget about whatever you invited me to. I use it for work meetings. I schedule my workouts and my runs, my appointments, pretty much my whole life. I'd be lost without it. Essentially what I do is every Sunday I sit down, I look at the week ahead, and I plug and play my workouts where they will work for me. That way I'm treating them like any other important appointment to where I prioritize them and don't just blow them off. Okay, I promise, guys, that this is not a Google ad, but the next one is Google Maps. But okay, seriously, hear me out. Google Maps is probably one of the most valuable apps I use while traveling. Not only does it physically get my very directionally challenged butt wherever I need to go, but before I arrive somewhere new, I will search for gyms near our campground or hotel. I'll read reviews, I look at prices, I look at photos that come up on Google Maps, and I decide which one just makes the most sense before I even get there. So then I don't have to think about it as much because you're already in a new place, you already have a lot on your plate, and so this is just one less thing. And bonus, I also use it to find good restaurants, coffee shops, grocery stores, entrances to hiking trails, pretty much everything. Couldn't live without it. Highly recommend. Last app recommendation, guys. Tried and true, Facebook. Last but definitely not least, this is the app that I think is very underrated. Living in an RV means that you basically start over every few weeks. So we don't know the area. I never know where the safest running routes are, and I don't really get good tips on the best gyms. So before I go somewhere new, I join local hiking groups, running groups, community Facebook pages, because sometimes you often are somebody who runs by yourself. And if I'm running by myself, I want to find the best place to go. If there's any local run clubs, I also like to ask safety questions and discover places that honestly I may not see on Google search or a Google map. Facebook at this point is one of my favorite places to go to find out the secret bests of every new city that we're in. Those are the apps that I genuinely use week after week that help me stay healthy while traveling, just making things a little bit easier. The biggest lessons I've learned the past couple of years, and especially in the last year since we've gone full time, is that staying physically fit and honestly eating a well-balanced diet isn't perfect when you travel, and you're never going to find perfection in the gym or a perfect routine. But I do appreciate having good tools. I like to have systems in place to where even though my surroundings change, I'm always able to adapt. So whether you travel full-time like we are, you take frequent workout trips, or you're just trying to stay active on vacation, I hope at least one of these apps makes your life a little bit easier. But honestly, I'd love to hear from you. What's an app that you absolutely can't travel without? Leave it in the comments because I'm always looking for new tools to try, and I'm sure everyone else reading the comments will appreciate the recommendations too. Also, if we have not met yet, please introduce yourself. If you liked today's video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe if you haven't already, and I'll see you guys in the next one.